So in this video, I've got 4 more Bible translations for you. And the last one I had 3, and I talked about the difference between the Authorized King James and the King James. So let's just delve into it. The American Standard Version. It was created by the American Bible Revision Committee, a group dedicated to revise the King James Version. Notably, Philip Schaff is a German theologian, revised and published the ASV in 1901. The ASV is a revision of the KJV, and it uses a translation style called formal equivalence. We talked about that. So that means it's literal, it's word for word. So they do not stray away from the meaning of the text. They go word for word, if that makes sense. Some people might hear me say, well, you say it doesn't stray away from the meaning. That's right. It doesn't stray away from the meaning, the literal word for word meaning. But in terms of a thought for thought, they might stray from the thought meaning because they're so literal. So you might have a translation that's so literal that it's hard to understand what they're trying to say, and it's hard to understand what they're trying to get across. So the Revised Standard Version was published on September 30th, 1952 by the National Council of the Churches of Christ in the USA. It updated the 1611 King James language by retaining accuracy and the beauty of the original. It's a better version of the American Standard Version. It's basically a revision of the American Standard Version. There is a translation. I literally can't tell you the name of the, I know the translation, but I can't tell you the name of the translation because they protected its trademark. So in order for me to tell you this, I would have to get permission from them, a written permission to tell you the translation. And I think that's kind of backwards, because if a translation is all about, oh, let the people know, let the people read the word of God, right? How are you going to stop me from saying the translation and leading people to read that? See, when I covered the translation the other day, I'll look for it. The American King James Version, they were like, hey, let everyone read this. Don't stop anyone from seeing it. Don't stop anyone from using it. So I put the link up for you to go look at that. They want somebody like me to talk about it on video and without their written permission. So it's like, they're not stopping me from telling you about it. However, they're discouraging it without their approval. You'd want that Bible to have a good reputation. You want people to feel like they can come and go and read the text. So I just don't understand that. I think it's counterintuitive, honestly. The English Revised Version. The English Revised Version is known as the Revised Version. So if you're ever online and you see ERV, that also equals RV. So if you hear people or read people online comparing the American Standard Version to the Revised Version, they're talking about the English Revised Version. So yeah, that's the same thing. And it's a direct revision of the King James Version completed in 1881. So next is the English Standard Version. It's published in 2001 by Crossway Books. And I actually have one. Let me show you. And it says in my notes it was published by Crossway Books. Let's take a look at that. Let's see if that's true, because I have it right here. Look, it's right here, my friend. I don't know if you saw that, but Crossway Books. And it's funny how I just have that, like, he just has it. It just has the Bible. Like, I just like talk about these Bible translations. I pull all of them out of like a drawer or something. It's like, here, look. Continuing on, more than 100 pastors and scholars participated. Dr. J.I. Packer was the general editor, and Dr. Wayne Gresham was an editor in it also. He's also an editor, but he's also part of the Translations Revision Committee, which I'm about to talk about that. This is a revision of the Revised Standard Version and addresses theological concerns about it. So the Revised Standard Version comes out in September 30th, 1952, and the public views it, and they're like, hey, we kind of don't like some of this because there's some concerns about it. So they published the ESV, which is a response. So the ESV was in 2001. So they publish a response to that, which addresses more of the concerns. A lot of these Bible translations have committees that are dedicated to revising and keeping it as accurate as possible. Yeah, there's just a war going on online about people arguing over translations, like, oh, this one's better, this one's better, this one's like, and I'm not talking about any specific one, but people would argue over 2 different ones saying this is more accurate, this isn't more accurate. But what I want to say is that's kind of faithless to argue about that, because it's all about God, right? So I want to bring a little spiritual aspect and say it doesn't matter what you have. So the Word of God, whether I have an English Standard Version, which is down here, or I have a Message Bible or whatever it is. Now, we know the concerns about the Message Bible. It's not 100% accurate. So someone that reads the Message Bible might have the Lord speak to them, and they might come to Jesus and then go get another Bible. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, what Bible you really use. as long as you use something that you think is accurate, as long as you use something that you vibe with and you think is okay, and then God will speak to you. Well, there's translations that were literally created by cults. So like they exist, but what I'm trying to say is have proper discernment and love God. That comes first and foremost. God will speak to you in any place. Your relationship with God is what matters. Come to your own independent research, independent study about what translation you want and just stick with it. But your relationship with God matters more than this translation. Like, keep your eye on the prize. If through the darkness, the light of God will speak. And it doesn't matter what translation you have. It doesn't matter what you have. God is very real. He's very alive. So he'll speak to you. Your relationship with God matters. It matters more than everything else. And I'm not trying to push it on you. I'm not trying to say you need to go believe in God. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you believe in God already, or if you want to believe in God, that's what matters. Your relationship with God is very, very important. I'm not trying to convert you to Christianity. That's your choice. If you want to do that, you can do that. And I'm talking about God and how he's like powerful. That's all I'm talking about. But anyway, if you stay to the end, thank you. And if you listen to my spiritual rant, I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.